Welcome everyone to this episode of the AskJasonGelios show. I'm Jason Gelios, Michigan Realtor, and I appreciate you tuning in to this episode. There's many questions that home sellers ask, and many times they ask these questions before we put the house on the market. And so I'm going to share with you 9 of them that I put together here that are basically the top questions that someone should ask before selling a home. Now, the first one is, when is the best time of year to sell a home? We know that you can sell your home at any time of the year, but there are definitely some months and even specific days that are the best. Okay, some people say it's Friday. If you list the home on Friday, right, that's the best day, or Wednesday, whatever the case is. But my thought is you should list the home prior to the weekend, because most home buyers are out on the weekend around their work schedule. But basically, in spring and summer are the hottest times to sell a home. Many times people have families that are, the kids are out of school and they want to make a move before they start school again in the fall. That's not every home buyer, but that's probably the majority of home buyers are essentially families looking to move in the spring and the summer, that is, okay? If you want to maximize the money you make on your home, there's a study from Adam, ATTOM. I'm not familiar with this place, but they did a survey and they showed that selling in June, May, or July are your best bets. Pretty interesting. Okay, they did a survey. And according to Redfin, by the way, when we were talking about the days of the week that are best, Redfin did a survey and said that homes listed on Thursdays sell for more money and at a faster pace than those listed on other days of the week. Something to think about, which, by the way, there's so many different surveys that suggest different days, right? Wednesday, Friday, Thursday. This is just one example that Thursday was a preferred day to list. Going into sub questions here for when is the best time to sell of the year to sell a house, you have to take into effect how in demand real estate is in your area. How much have you paid down on your mortgage loan? How comfortable are you financially? And what are your local market conditions? Okay. Number 2, how long will it take to sell my home? So according to the National Association of Realtors, and this is 2024, you're watching this, but according to the National Association of Realtors, they're saying that the average home takes about 62 days to sell. Now, that could include, I believe that also includes getting a buyer, because I found some additional data from the same source that said that it takes about 21 days roughly to get an offer on the home, and about 30 to 45 days to actually close and the seller gets paid. So that 62 days accounts for the whole process. Pretty interesting. Okay. Number 3, how much is my home worth? So you got to do some research or hire a real estate agent to actually, actually preferably a realtor, which there is a difference. I talked about that in past videos, but you want to hire a realtor to, basically look at what your market's doing, your area is doing. Are you in a seller's market or a buyer's market? That will affect how much you get for your home, but have them look at that. Now, 2 main factors that determine how much your home is worth is the condition of the home and the level of demand of homes like it. If you have a 3-bedroom ranch, you want to compare another 3-bedroom ranch in your area, typically within a mile or 2, unless you're in a rural area, right, country area where you have to go further out and further back in time, because things don't go as fast in the country. Number 4, how much does it cost to sell my house? That's a great question. I get asked this often, how much is this going to cost? A good realtor will give you a sheet that gives you an estimate of all the costs and what you could potentially walk away with. But then again, you're watching this episode, and so I'm going to share with you some basic percentages, okay? So obviously the real estate agent's commission is probably the biggest one. That could be 5 to 6%. Never go with a discount agent, by the way. That's just my expertise there. If you have to stage and prep your house, that's about 1% of your go-to market price. Seller concessions, if you're offering that if you're in the market where a buyer can command that, then expect to pay about 1 to 3% of the offer price, okay? Repair costs, that could vary, depends on what you have to do to the home, whether that comes up during a home inspection or you find out, let's say you have a home inspection done prior to listing your home, which is a great idea. You may have to make some repairs. So that's gonna vary. It could be small, it could be something big. Home ownership and overlap costs. So when you go to close, you're staying in the home, that's typically a percent. That's a good idea. That's a good idea of where you would be at. Could vary depending on what you negotiated. And then closing costs are about 2 to 3% of the offer price. You can minimize some of these costs by skipping the real estate agent. You can sell your home on your own. Yes, you can, as long as you are willing to do that and do the homework and do it properly, have all the proper forms, know the laws in your area for real estate, and making sure that all your bases are covered. Number 5, should I make repairs before listing a house? This is a great one because sometimes people ask me, should we sell as is, not do anything, or should we actually make some repairs? My thought on this is that if it's something that's going to stand out and hinder the process or slow down a buyer and give them doubt, you should get it fixed. For example, if you have a wall, let's say in the basement, that needs to be painted because something happened or whatever, or it's just nicked up bad, get it painted. It doesn't cost that much, or you can do it yourself on a weekend day. Those things make a big difference. Although if you had a leak in the basement or something like that, you're not covering it up. You have to disclose that still. Many times home buyers want a move-in ready property, one that doesn't require much work and elbow grease before moving in, okay? This is especially true of younger buyers. National Association of Realtors states that 76% of first-time buyers prefer a move-in ready home. So what does that tell you about this question? Should I make repairs before listing the home? I say yes. As long as you're not, making repairs that are like, 20, 30 grand, and you might not get that back. You probably won't get that back unless you're updating a kitchen or something, okay? Number 6, should I use a real estate agent? So there's pros and cons to using a real estate agent, okay? Again, I prefer a realtor. Make sure that they are a licensed realtor, not just a real estate agent. There is a difference. Too many times, real estate agents call themselves realtors, and they're really not a realtor, okay? It's a completely different type of real estate agent. First and foremost, an agent can guide you in your home sale. They can list the home, coordinate photography, showings, market the property, and walk you through the whole process from start to finish. Okay, they'll also have access to market data that can help you price your home appropriately. Can you sell by owner? Of course you can. You just gotta know what you're doing. Now, number 7 is, where does the home inspector come in? So, you can certainly get a seller's inspection before listing. I mentioned that earlier about it's called a pre-listing inspection, where essentially you're hiring a home inspector to actually come in before you list your home, and they're doing a full inspection so that you don't have surprises and you're not falling victim to the buyer stating that a small problem is bigger when it's really not, and they're just trying to drive the price down a little bit, okay, which happens often. So even if you do get a home inspection, you can usually expect a home inspection to come into play once you've accepted an offer. So even though you got a pre-listing inspection, yes, you can offer that report to the buyer if you want, but I always say let them do their own, and you can expect that after their offer is accepted by you, the seller. Typically, it has to be done within 7 to 10 days. Some do within 5 days. It just depends how busy the inspector is. Number 8, what can I do if my house isn't selling? Sometimes a house doesn't sell no matter what, right? It could be any number of factors, but there's a chance your home won't sell as quickly as you like. So if this happens, your home might be overpriced for the market it's in. Price is the number 1 factor of why a home doesn't sell. The number 1 factor, okay? So you should compare your listing price to recent sales of comparable parties and adjust the number accordingly. Keep in mind that you may, and your agent may have thought that this price here was a great price, but then as the home is on the market, some other homes sold recently that can drive that price down. And now you have someone coming in or not coming in, right? But let's say a buyer comes in and they're like, well, you know, this price is high compared to the recent comparables, right? The recent homes that sold as your home was on the market. That could happen, by the way. So you got to reevaluate and rethink your price and adjust it, correct that price to get more people in demand. So if it's been a long time, you may be able to switch real estate agents or sell a different way. You could do that. It just depends on if you're happy or not with your agent. Okay. But you may be able to have someone help increase your home's visibility. Maybe they're better at marketing. You know, second opinion, I guess, doesn't hurt. And number 9, can I take my favorite light fixture or other favorite home feature with me? I have a general rule when a seller asks me what they can take and not take without excluding it in the listing agreement. And that is, if you turn the house upside down, what will stay attached and what will fall? Okay, so like light fixtures and things like that. Anything attached to the home is supposed to be left for the buyer. Again, you could exclude certain things. Before you go to market, there's an exclusion sheet that the agent has, or you can create your own. It's just a sheet of paper that says, we are excluding the light fixture in the bathroom. We'll change it out for something basic. We're taking the appliances. We're taking the built-in dishwasher. We are taking the plant that's in the backyard because it's a family heirloom and we're passing it down, which, by the way, people have done that. They have excluded plants in the yard. Okay, so anything that's attached to the house is something you'll need to leave behind for the buyer. All right, light fixtures, built-in shelving units, blinds, door hardware, right? Nice door handles, you can't just take those off, and more. If there's something specific you don't want, again, bring it up during the negotiations as well as exclude it before you even list your home. So these are 9 questions that I had for you. Hope you found this episode valuable. Go ahead and share your thoughts in the comments. Have you had an issue where maybe you overlooked some of these questions or didn't ask these questions and you had an issue? Don't be afraid to share that in the comments below. And I invite you to follow me on social media. Those links are in the description. Otherwise, I'm Jason Gelios, Michigan Realtor, and I'll see you next time.